You kind of take us through the process of both signings today. How early did you guys maybe reach out to the representatives, and what was the selling point in terms of trying to bring both players to San Jose?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really get into discussions with these guys until early this morning. Once the free agency started, um, you know, uh, then we things kind of snowballed pretty quick there from morning time here. And free agency open, things moved pretty quickly. I think you guys probably saw how much activity was there. So for us, it's as you know, it's early in the morning, and so these are a couple guys that we targeted that we thought would really help our group. Tyler, as you know, I've talked about trying to add some scoring and wing help for our young centers here, and he's a veteran who's won, and he's always produced. He's been good in the room. He's been in situations like this in Montreal and to a lesser degree in Vancouver, playing with young players there with Peterson and Quinn Hughes and kind of helping those guys grow. And I know Jack Hughes speaks the world of him about him helping his growth. So the opportunity at him was really exciting for us with what we have here as young players and being able to help them come along and help their game offensively and help them kind of stay even keeled through the grind. There's going to be ups and downs, and someone who's won a cup knows that. So, his leadership was in goal scoring and all that stuff is really important to us. And, Alex is a good player. You don't find too many two-way centers like him who can also play the wing. It also helps insulate our not only our young guys, but our team in general, someone who you can put out there in the power play and PK and play in every situation and be responsible, but then contribute offensively too. So, we feel really fortunate to be able to land both these guys. It was a competitive market, as you guys could see. But I think the players themselves, I think we're intrigued by what we're doing here and the opportunity to maybe play with some of these young talented players that we have and the challenge of getting us back to where we're going and to play in front of our great fans. I think players around the league can respect the city of living here and the fans and things that have been done here before. And I think we're kind of heading towards being in an exciting place. And as you can see, I think some of these vets are kind of curious and intrigued by trying to join us and help us get there.
So is it fair to say maybe that, by winning the draft lottery, that allowed you to get a good chance at signing a player like Tyler? Obviously, they got the same agent, and he's heard good things. As I said, he's heard good things about Mac. I mean, when you look at it, does that help? Just winning the lottery, getting a guy like Macklin in here.
Yeah, I think it helped for sure. It kind of got some excitement in the franchise, and but Macklin and Will, I think they're two highly skilled players, and I think the players in the league are paying attention to this stuff and watching and seeing what these players are doing and kind of following along. So getting Macklin and winning the lottery definitely got a little bit of buzz around the franchise, but signing Will and getting him out too and players knowing his ability. I think if you're a veteran winger, the opportunity to play with these types of players is I think it's pretty intriguing.
Does Wenberg's contract have any trade protection? I know Tyler's got a full no move, but just what about Alex? Has he got a no trade or no move at all?
Yeah, he has some protection in it and um some more than others. Year one is more than year two.
Okay. With Alex, obviously he has experience as a top six centerman. Is it partially some insurance on your part to have a player like that in here, just in case Logan, can't go next year or isn't able to start the season on time?
Yeah, I think that went into the thinking a little bit, but we're very hopeful that Cooch will be able to play and contribute. And I think it's a little insurance, sure, but hopefully Cooch can play. And I think Cooch and Granny and Alex all have the ability to play on the wing too. So That's a little bit of a luxury and kind of what it makes him a unique player too. So all three of them they're centers by trade, but I don't think any of them would have problem playing on the wing.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks.
Max.
Hey, Mike, obviously you brought in the two players here, but it looks like, just recently coming out, there's some moves here in the minor leagues here with Jimmy Schultz and Lucas Carlson. Obviously, the CUDA had the year that they had last year. What went into thinking of kind of bringing those guys in to kind of help? Obviously, Jimmy Schultz was one of the more top AHL free agent guys to try and insulate that part of your program.
Yeah, it all ties together. We want to be better down there, and we want to be better up here, and we want to have the right people around our young players. So, as important it is for us up here with the big club to have the right veterans and good players around our young players, it's equally as important down there.
Obviously, Tyler's won a lot. Wenberg went far with the Rangers there. Is that part of the thinking? I know you touched on a little bit, but just the fact that they've had deep playoff runs and just such an inexperienced team playoff wise, and other than a couple of guys in the forward, is that just their playoff experience specifically? Is that one of their main pulls that why you were just first interested in these guys?
Yeah, they're good veterans. The playoff experience helps, and with Tyler, especially when you go through and can win a Stanley Cup, I think that type of winning rubs off on players. And it's a lot of, like I said, we're going to have some ups and downs in here as a group. Individually, some of our players are going to have ups and downs, and I think it's invaluable to have someone who's won and done well, and Tyler and Alex have, and they'll be able to kind of right the ship and make sure guys aren't getting too high or too low, and let them know that it's okay, that that's a tough league. It's okay if it's not going well right now. Just keep working through it. So guys that can help these young players kind of navigate the league and navigate the season will be extremely valuable for us.
Obviously you've brought in Wenberg, you have Granlund, Couture if healthy, and I mean, for guys like Smith, Celebrini, and even William Eklund, what is the plan? I mean, do you plan to kind of keep Eklund on the wing here? I mean, if Couture is healthy, that's three centers. What are you thinking that maybe Smith or Macklin, if he does choose to come out, are you planning to kind of play them all at the center, move some of them to the wing? What is your thinking behind that?
We'll see how it goes. You guys saw last year how we were chasing center depth, like I said a little bit earlier, I think we have a lot of guys who can play center, and we have a lot of guys who can play wing too. So we'll figure that out as we go. And there's always injuries and things like that that'll pop up. So I think we feel good about our center depth.
Then Devin Cooley signed in Calgary. Just is there any interest in maybe bringing in another goalie for depth? And then just to add on top of that, do we know the status of Vitek, and do you expect him to be ready for training camp?
I think we expect VTech to be ready, but as anything goes with surgery and rehab, you never know. He's in a good spot right now. He's working hard. He's got himself on the ice. So the expectation is that he'll be ready, but you never know. We'll keep looking around, and we'll probably address the number 3 spot at some point here in the off season.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike.
Yep.
Eric.
Mike, teams have coveted Tyler throughout his career for obvious reasons. How much did he maybe express or to you if he craves some stability at this point in his career, and the fact that you could offer that help in landing him?
Yeah, I'm sure it had a part in it. Like all players, it's kind of nice to have a little bit of security where you can kind of, put some roots down a little bit. He's someone that, obviously is a very good player, and a lot of teams wanted him and after him. And, he's bounced around a little bit over the last few years. So, with us being able to offer him a little bit more term, I'm sure was pretty appealing to him.
And then to just ask a broader question regarding all the moves that you've made here over the last week or two or so. I know you watched last year's games, maybe through a different lens, say than us or fans or whatsoever. But how tough was it to watch, you guys play, in games across last season, because certainly these moves that you've made speak to you not wanting to see many of those tough nights, like a year ago where, games would get out of hand.
Yeah, I know, it was a difficult season for sure, to sit through, not only for myself, but it was difficult on, the players and the coaches. And, I'm a extremely competitive person, and, sitting through some of those games were tough. So, I've, taken some time, and when I got the job, I knew it was going to take some time to kind of move some pieces around and shape things, and we're starting to move more towards a team that I would like to be. A little bit more competitive and harder to play against. As there was too many nights last year where I thought we were non-competitive. So, sometimes it takes some time to do things, and there's still a lot of work to be done. But I think now, we're starting at least head towards being towards the type of team I would like to be.
Yeah. Lastly, off of that, how much do you think you've upped that competitive level over these last couple of weeks with these moves?
Yeah, quite a bit. I think Goody and Ty and Grunstrom and Wenberg and Tyler they're all competitive players, competitive in their own ways when you talk about Tyler and Alex. But they win puck battles, they're on the inside, they're going to the hard areas. And then Grunstrom and Delandria and Goody, and then you add, we're able to re-sign Cunny. There's definitely a lot more hardness to our group. So whether we're, winning or losing games, I think teams will know that it's not going to be an easy night against us anymore.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks.
Shang,
Hey, Mike, you spoke before the draft about wanting to add scoring, and now you've added one of the top scorers in the free agent market, and also a guy that is said to be fantastic in the room. Just how good does it feel to add basically a guy that, might have been your number one target?
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited for, the organization and the guys in the room. You never know how free agency is going to go. When you get into the office this morning, you never know how it's going to go. And as you can see, with all the activity today, and you just hope you're going to be able to, get a guy you really like. And, Tyler was at the top of our list, and, once he, expressed some desire to come here, we worked to get the job done. And, it's pretty exciting because, like you said, he's good in the room, and that checks a box. He's won before, that checks a box. And, he's got the scoring ability to play with our young, some of our young centers. So he checked a lot of boxes, and, we're thrilled to be able to get it done.
Would you expect any more kind of significant signings, or do you think that you might be done in that area?
I would say I would say for the most part, we're probably done. Maybe if there's something around the edges, maybe, or something pops up, in the next few days. But for this was probably most of the heavy lifting.
How much are you looking to add to your defense? I know that a lot of defensemen went very quickly on the market this free agency. Is that something that you're still looking to add, if not through free agency because there's not so many guys left, but along the edges or via trade? Is that still a kind of a puck moving defenseman? Is that still a priority for you guys?
Yeah, we'll keep exploring, but like you said, I think every team in the league's looking for it, and they went off the board early, and some of the term or in money were things that we weren't comfortable with. So we got a group of D now that will be competitive and play hard, and Jake adds a nice submission of someone who can run a power play, and we'll see how the development of our young guys go, and we'll definitely keep an eye open on the trade market and maybe poke around on free agency and stuff. But it's hard to say, but I'll keep an eye on what's going on for sure.
And just double checking, just if it's in front of you, not asking you to look through a stack of papers, but for Wenberg, you mentioned that the trade protections is greater in year 1 and year 2. Can you be more specific? No trade clause, how many teams, that sort of thing?
I'm not sure on. He's got a no trade in year 1, and then I'm not sure I'm not sure what it goes down in year 2, but I don't have the exact number in front of me.
Oh, in year 1, is it a complete no trade?
Yeah,
Okay, great. Thank you.
yeah.
Marco,
Hi, Mike. It's been an interesting last 3 days for you with the draft and now free agency. As far as Wenberg goes, obviously his versatility is, I'm sure, is what attracted you the most to him. But were you able to watch his run with the Rangers in the playoffs? And does that kind of also maybe make you a little more keen on getting someone like that as opposed to if they're not playing in the playoffs? Like, how much do you value a playoff run by a certain player with a certain team like that? Thanks.
Yeah, no, I thought we watched him in the playoffs and even down the stretch with New York and he did a good job. He played in those weren't easy series or heavy series, fast series, and we thought he was one of the better players. So to be able to come away with someone who's been through that, New York's not always an easy place to play in, but there was good players, and he got traded there and handled it well, and that says a lot about his character. It's as you guys know, you go into New York, sometimes there's some pressure there, and I don't think it ever fazed him from day one. He stepped in there and played his game, and we thought he was one of their most consistent forwards throughout their playoff run.
Curtis,
Mike, when you look at the forward group now, I don't want to say it's a logjam or it's a glut or anything, but there's quite a few bodies there. I mean, is it just maybe part of this too? A message to the young guys that you're not necessarily going to be handed a job here at a camp, and then some guys are going to be on notice too about trying to make this team.
Yeah, for sure. I've talked about the importance of competitiveness within our group and trying to build that up, and we've slowly been doing it, and now I think it's at the highest level it's been since I've gotten here, and that's the way, talking to some of our vets and even myself going back to my playing day, if you were going to make the team as a young player, you had to earn your way. You weren't going to be given a spot by default. So we want all the best from our players. We want them to push each other. We want the internal competition, and we think we've done that. So yeah, the young guys should be looking at this as an opportunity, but also know that they're going to have to raise their game in the gym this summer and on ice, working on themselves, working on their body and their nutrition and their game, and get better. So when training camp comes around, they're gonna be in a battle, and these older guys aren't going to be in any rush to give their spot away to a young guy. So it should make for a pretty competitive camp, and may the best man win.
Does that include a Will Smith or a Macklin if he signs?
Yeah, I mean, those guys are going to have to earn their ice time. For sure, they're not going to be thrown on the first power play and this and that. They're going to have to go out there and earn what they get and be ready to compete with the rest of the group.
When your development camp always starts tomorrow, what are your expectations of the guys that show up? Obviously, I don't know if everybody's going to be in tip-top shape necessarily, but what are your expectations for the guys, and what do you want to see?
I want them just to work hard and have fun, really. Like you said, it's, some of these guys have been off for a little bit, so no one's going to be in prime shape, and I want them to enjoy being around each other, get to know each other a little bit. There's a big group of them that are hopefully going to be a big part of our core for a long time, so spend some time together, be around each other, and when you're in the gym or on the ice, work as hard as you can, but have some fun with it. But the on ice stuff, like you said, some of the kids that have just gotten drafted, it's been a whirlwind for those guys. They've been to the combine, some of them just got playing, so there hasn't been a lot of training time. The guys who have been here before and it wasn't their draft year, we want to see some improvement in some of the testing and things like that compared to their prior years.
I don't want to keep harping on Barclay Goodrow's situation here, but if you had a chance to speak with him at all about coming and coming and how he feels about coming to San Jose.
I have, we've played a little bit of phone tag, but we haven't had a conversation. I've talked to his agent a few times, and I know some guys on the team have talked to him a little bit, and equipment, I think some guys on, have reached out to him that knew him from before here. I've talked to him, I'll talk to him here soon enough. But, I think it's all good. I think, like I said, it's a tough situation emotionally for him, but, I think he's, coming around, and I think he's going to be excited to be back here in San Jose here. And I look forward to catching up with here shortly.
And you don't anticipate any changes to your decor, like you kind of said that you're pretty happy with the group you have, even though there might be another move or two out there. This is pretty much the group you have as far as your defense core goes.
I mean, it's hard to say for sure. I'll keep, as always, I'll keep trying to look if something that makes sense to make our team better or improve things, and I'll do it. But so I'll keep looking around and we'll see what happens. The off season's really just beginning, so I'm sure there'll be some twists and turns as we go. But right now, these are the guys we have, and they're a competitive group, and expect them to be better with a little bit of a different system and things like that. I think we should be better in our D zone, and the growth of our young players and adding Jake to it. I think we should be better defensive team.
Sorry to keep harping on the coaching staff situation, but you said last week, obviously you're very close. I mean, but can you say if Brian and Scott will be back, or are they kind of moved on at this point?
I think everything should be finishing up here sometime this week. So I think Warsaw's still doing his due diligence and getting through everything and pushing through everything. And I think we'll by the end of the week, I think we'll have more definitive answers for you guys.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks.
Chang?
Mike, I just wanted to ask you, I believe that the Tyler Toffoli contract is the largest that the Sharks ever handed out to an outside free agent, total contract and also AAV. Just what does that say again about Tyler, the player, the kind of investment that you guys are making in him?
Yeah, I mean, it's the player and the person. I think if you're going to give someone a decent amount of term and money, you're betting on the person being the right person. On top of the player, I think we know what he brings as a player and what he does on the ice. But when you start getting into a little bit of term and a good chunk of change, then it's more about the person. You're betting on the person, and that you're sold on the person, what he's going to bring to the team culture-wise, and bring to the community and bring to the organization. So it's more really about what he says about him as a person than it is about a player. We know that he's a really good hockey player and what he'll do for us on the ice, but he's going to bring a lot more of the intangibles to the dressing room and to the organization.